I too am surprised that we're only 20 days into 2024 and we've already got a book review. Not even a comic review, but a full on book. So I read Magic Misfits, the fourth suit, aka Magic Misfits Ridley. Because it's like a hardcover, and I don't even know what you call it, but the thing that some hardcovers have like wrapped around them, that calls it the fourth suit, whereas the actual book calls it Ridley. So I'm just gonna call it Magic Misfits 4 in the video and like in the title. I haven't read a Magic Misfits book since just before Corona, like not long before lockdown happened. So it's been like 4 years. Um, like I was on holiday, in 2019. We went to a shop and I saw, the first book and I was like, "What? Neil Patrick Harris wrote a book?" Hmm. And at the time, I had seen like the first episode of the series of unfortunate events, which I didn't like. I had seen a couple episodes of How I Met Your Mother. I loved the second episode in particular. So I bought the book, and when we're going home, I downloaded a couple of How I Met Your Mothers, and then when I got home, I just binged the show all summer. And read the book. Then my brother read the book, and my brother asked for the second, third books for Christmas, and then I read those between Christmas and lockdown. And the third book was supposed to be released in like September 2020, but then, got delayed because of Corona. And he got it, I think, Christmas 2021 or 2022. And I started it just after the Batman book review, like August, I think. And I was reading it every day until I started working, because it used to be the last thing I would do. Like I would just read 5 pages, then go to bed. Now it's just I'll read it whenever's the most convenient. Because when I was reading it, last thing, I was constantly falling asleep and waking up like, in the morning with my PlayStation and shit still turned on. I was compensating a bit. Like if I missed one day, I would read 10 pages instead of 5, but not every day was compensated for, so it took longer than it should have. I've already started my next book. I'm 10 pages into it. There's only 200 pages, so fingers crossed that review will be somewhat soon. Like if 5 pages a day is what, 40 days, I think. I mean, seems like quite a while, but I mean, it's only like the start of March. Anyway, it is great, even though I'm 19 years old reading a kid's book. It still is quite enjoyable. The problem is that since it's been 4 years since I read the last book, I've forgotten basically everything. So I don't know what to say. I enjoyed it. Like Neil Patrick Harris writing is one of his many talents. um, for the most part, they've got a diverse cast of characters, but they don't actually make like a emphasis on how diverse it is. Uh, except for I don't know how to feel about. I think it's Layla's dad's, the Vernons. They gay. Uh, I mean, they didn't really say much in this book, but they might have said it in the others. like, there's, I get the Neil Patrick Harris is gay himself, but it just seems like if you're going to write a gay character in a kid's story, you need to be careful because you need to sort of like acknowledge like gay people exist because that might be a foreign concept to children. But you also don't want to make it seem like it's better than being straight, like it's equal. Um, and there wasn't anything like that in this. Like it didn't sort of promote a lifestyle of being gay. So, thank you for that. I'm just gonna leave it there because I'm just video's already very long, so I'm just gonna continue. The last days of I know I just said that I wanted to keep the video going, but there is something I want to say about this name. I first heard of this name, at least the first, like the forename, um, playing AC Origins because there's a guy. I think he might have been a pharaoh or something, and there was a lot of statues, and you get rewarded for breaking those statues. At the time, I pronounced it as ptolemy, like if the T and the O were swapped around. Then I thought maybe it's pronounced ptolemy, but everyone on the show just pronounces it Ptolemy, like silent P, which that probably was obvious. But I don't know, maybe just I don't know how to pronounce it. But we'll just go with Ptolemy. Last Days of Ptolemy Gray. Universally positive ratings, Apple TV Plus original series to watch on Apple TV Plus. Samuel L. Jackson, Omar Miller, Walton Goggins. It's good. I was a bit confused by the description. Like I started it, did something, read the description, then went back to it. Like if we go to the Google overview, Thelma Gray 91 is on the brink of sinking into dementia, but he experiences a seismic shift when given the opportunity to briefly regain his Oh. Right, I know of that because I do mention it in the first episode, but I thought what it meant was that his nephew had died years ago and he started using his dementia to solve the murder because like he's forgetting new shit. He still thinks he's back around the time that his nephew died, assuming that his nephew died a long time ago. Let's just say the 50s. Um, that might not make sense, but I mean, as far as like, there probably is a lot of unrealistic shit in this anyway. So, like, it's sort of suspension of disbelief. So it doesn't really start. I haven't seen episode 2 yet, but since the whole thing is he's gonna solve Reggie's murder, uh, and Reggie doesn't. I mean, you see Reggie at the start, and then he's like, "I want to see Reggie," and they get someone else to take him to the bank and shit, and then he goes to Reggie's house, and he's like, "Where is Reggie?" And he follows someone else, and see that Reggie's dead. And then when he's going home, he's like, "I'm going to solve his murder." So the fact that he doesn't set out to do it, yeah, fuck, he hasn't really done anything. He's just said he's going to do it by the end of the first episode. That being said, the first episode is still pretty great. Samuel L. Jackson's performance, as per usual, is amazing. Whether or not this is the thing I put focus on next, I'm not sure, because I've got 5 episodes left of that. I've got 5 episodes left of Blackbird, and I want to do it like by episode count. So, got those two. Then, like, we've got 6 episodes of 5 Days at Memorial, and Essex Serpent, 7 episodes of We Crashed, 8 episodes of Surface Defending Jacob, Lizzie Story, Shining Girls, Suspicion, etc. I wanted to do it like by episode count, because I want to just get as much of it out of my up next as possible, because I've got like a month, just under a month and a half left of the Apple subscription, and then I'll need to go on to the next Apple subscription, because it was Dylan, it's his account that he got with 3 months on PlayStation. Then I've got a voucher because I bought an iPad recently. My dad's got a voucher because he bought an iPad recently. So, I mean, I don't know if we'll be able to use my dad's, because I know mine has a time limit, like it expires in April, I think. So, I don't know if his does. And I'm probably not going to know, because he's not going to let me check myself. And he's too much of a fucking idiot to check himself.